bad.
Yeah, but that's not today. Today, 10%.
Think it's not good.
We call that a Thursday in crypto. All right. Jasmine, are we all good on Twitter?
Okay, let's wait 2 minutes. I will let you know.
Just a minute. All right, guys, we're gonna give it another minute to get set up all over on Twitter, so we can keep hanging out while we're waiting. I can introduce myself. You guys already know me, Jose. I made this joint. I'm the chef, in and out every day. We got also here Chirag, our marketing lead. How you doing, Chirag?
Hey everyone, I'm doing good. How about you?
Chirag, you are muted.
Which it shows I'm not muted.
Silly Chirag.
Man.
That's why we love him. Such a silly guy. Doesn't know he's muted.
It shows
We're
I'm
glad to have you. We're so glad to
Hello.
have you.
It shows I'm not muted.
Got a bit of a crowd here. All right. Well, this is the first time we've ever done this in a good while at least. Certainly will not be the last. If you guys hype us up enough, maybe we'll make this a regular thing. How does that sound?
Yeah. Let's have it more regular. Think like
Regular.
seeing your. Yeah, we can have it.
Chirag, we're dying to hear from you. Everyone wants to know
Hello.
how you're doing.
It shows that I'm not muted.
Did
I'm
I
just
server
checking
mute you?
settings.
We can hear.
I can hear you. I can hear Chirag.
There we go, Chirag. Okay, Chirag.
Hello.
How are we doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am phenomenal. I will say I am a bit hungry because we had an extra mic test beforehand that I did not check my calendar, and that was supposed to be my first meal of the day. It is now 6 p.m. in Barcelona, and I haven't eaten yet. So you guys are gonna have to, feed me with the energy. That'll be enough, and then I'll be all right.
Yeah. That's good. Nice.
So 6 p.m. and you still haven't had your first meal. That is a lot.
I had some matcha. Had a lot of matcha.
Okay.
No sustenance though.
Are we live on Twitter right now?
We're live on Twitter.
Sweet.
You get that right?
GM, everyone, let's go.
Hello, Twitter. How are we doing? So can we begin then? Are we good to start it off?
Yeah. Twitter is on.
Yes,
I can see you on Twitter, guys.
Jasmine, we're good?
Yes, let's get started.
Let's get started, everyone. Okay, I hope everyone is doing absolutely phenomenal today. My name is Jose. I am the founder and CEO of Virtual Labs and VDEX. So the reason we're all here today, talk about VDEX. It has been, well, we're going to get into it. It's been quite a time. You guys have been supporting us for a long time, and we have now something to show for it. So we're really excited about that. But first, we're going to get into a little bit of the history. We're going to introduce Chirag, our marketing lead, for those of you who don't know him. And then we're just going to get started. I think Chirag has a list of questions in the beginning, and then we'll take some questions from you guys at the end. So, Chirag, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
Hey everyone, pleasure to be here, and I'm the marketing lead for VDEX. I've been in Web3 for approximately more than 3 years, and I've been helping helping brands with majorly socials content, and also dabbled a bit in collab management and stuff. Started from the NFT space. Started the came into the rabbit hole through Axie Infinity. In fact, I love gaming, so So yeah, since then worked with agencies, several projects, and yeah, excited to be in with VDEX and take and get trader make trading without limits possible.
He's been trying to push that calling. Maybe
Yeah.
we can workshop it with you guys. We're like, should we do Degen's Playground or Trade Without Limits? They're both really catchy. We'll ask the audience at the end, but
Yeah.
all right, Chirag. Well, I'll give it to you this time. Trading without limits. Well, VDEX certainly doesn't have any limits. I don't know where you want to go to start. Where do you want to go to start this conversation?
So let us start from how VDEX started, and why PubDex. So
Mm.
yeah, let's start from there. Why
So,
PubDex? Why did we plan to launch a PubDex out of everything? I mean, we have so many PubDex in Web3 that for cryptos that it's you can really make a whole sheet about that, right? So why a PubDex?
So in a galaxy far, far away, a long, long time ago, there existed a company called Virtual Labs, and our objective is to bring Web 2 user experience to Web 3. Turns out to do that, to have a decentralized system be performant, so sub-millisecond finality, no gas fees, all of the good stuff we expect from our Web 2 applications, to bring that to Web 3, quite difficult, in fact. And for a few years, we developed this idea of a zero knowledge state channel. And how you can think about this is instead of accessing the blockchain and contacting the third party node every time you want to process a transaction, you basically lock some funds in a safe. Imagine putting your dollar bills, your euros, your shillings in a safe, locking the key, and then giving them to that validator. And then when you want to make a transaction, you actually can just sort of move money around in the safe. And it doesn't require that gas transaction every time you want to trade. And it also is super instant rather than taking several seconds for the block to produce or several minutes for it to finalize. And this is what a zero knowledge state channel is at its core. And that that is where Virtual Labs began. And I began my career as a trader. So I have been a Forex trader, an options trader, and then a crypto trader. So since 2017 and since 2021 in crypto specifically, founded an organization called Yale Blockchain Investment Trust. We managed 7 figures in capital from the endowment from external parties and from our own capital as well. And well, the ZK state channels make a lot of sense as a trading application. And as traders ourselves, we thought that was the best place to go. And so why specifically a perp dex? Well, we love leverage. That's for sure. We really love leverage. Any show of hands for people who like leverage here? We leverage traders. Sounds like we're leverage traders. Well, that's sort of the journey how we got here. So we built a really great technology. We were traders, and we built a platform that we would want to use ourselves. That's really the cornerstone. If you're using your product, if you're the first user of your product, then there will be more users as well.
Okay, that's nice. So that was a really nice description, of how people can imagine the ZK state channel. Yeah. So what's the vision for VDEX?
What's the vision for VDEX? Well, what a question. I'm going to flip it on you. What do you think the vision for VDEX is? What's what's your vision? Why are you here at VDEX?
So I'm here at VDEX because I think first of all I believe in Web3, right? The decentralized nature and how nice flip. Yes. So I believe in Web3. It's decentralization and how users are basically, motivated, to they own the platform and the anonymity, right? That we can maybe not have due to governments and centralized data companies and other stuff. So but if we want to uh, use decentralized applications, it is not possible with Ethereum. So we need innovation which makes consumer application possible for, and because if you want to scale a consumer application, we want it to be possible that there you can have like 1 million transactions per minute, because if a lot of people are using it, a million people taking out from 7 billion total population, that is nothing. It's like a drop in a bucket, right? And I don't think and there's any chain that can do like 1 million transactions per minute. So the the fact that attracted me to VDEX was its tech on how we are. I'm not trying to shill, the features. It's actual that how you can
Or
do transaction in sub
here
sub
chill
millisecond.
is what the people want.
No, they'll be
I
like
agree.
it's on inauthentic. I'm saying no, it's not inauthentic. It has the entire meaning behind it.
I agree. I think that I think there are two big inhibitions to mass adoption. We've been talking about this idea of mass adoption for like
Yeah.
years. Mass adoption is not going to happen until we change our ways. 95% of the protocols in this space, the product is a token. They're entirely focused around their vesting schedules. They are just pumping their bags. They're launching at ridiculously high FDV floats, and the goal is simply to dump on retail. And you can take this as the casino, for what it is, or it isn't. But one thing it isn't is going to bring about mass adoption. It's not conducive to non-speculative use cases. It's not conducive to regular people. I think there are two big problems that are stopping us from building applications that can reach critical mass. They are one, user experience. You should be able to onboard your mom or your grandma onto one of these applications. Currently, that's absolutely not possible. I try and imagine teaching my parents how to use a seed phrase. The headache isn't worth it, right? I'll shoot myself before that ever happens. And I think the experience is similar for many people here. It's not something that's intuitive. It's very difficult, and also it's insecure. If you lose the piece of paper, uh, or 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 it gets seen by someone else, that person is no longer you. And so the user experience problems, of course, expand beyond this. You have the very notion of having a gas fee is absurd. Um, it's like taking AWS server credits and making every person have them in order to access an application. It's crazy. Latency is really high. Overall user experience is just super poor. And and then of course we have just performance, as you were speaking. So this is of course both gas and finality time related to that, but also to TPS. And there are some blockchains that claim to have 1 billion or 1 trillion TPS, but they're not blockchains. Mega ETH is one that comes to mind. They're an eigen project, but they're a server. They're simply just a server. Hyperliquid is very similar. There's 4 validators. It's Jeff, and Chameleon Jeff. Those are the 4 validators. And it just speaks to this compromise we have to make. You either have decentralization or you have something that's performance and easy to use, and it's very difficult to have something in between. But that's what we do. That's what we achieve. And that I believe is the long-term goal for this industry and for VDEX. To answer your question, that's where VDEX is going to go, to be basically Binance on chain.
That is nice. I mean, yeah, like towards the end of the day, people do not care about what chain they are using. They care that their needs are met. They are able to, perform whatever they want to do. This brings me to question I was looking to ask you, in any one of our one-on-ones, but I mean, this is a good platform to ask. So as I understand that, when we are using the ZK state channels, right, the transactions are performed off-chain. So what would you say to proponents of people who say that, hey, on-chain is the future? We need stuff on-chain for it to be considered decentralized, let's say.
Think about on-chain just as the vernacular. On-chain. It's supposed to be analogous to online, right? It's its own thing. But it's so clunky on-chain. What is a chain? It's a block chain. It's a chain of blocks. Well, what are some features of a block? Well, it's a block, right? What is a feature about a block? It's finite. No matter how big you make it, no matter how fast you make them with Solana or Ethereum, the blocks are still finite. You know it's not finite? Throughput on your 1 gigabit per second internet connection. There's no block there. Blockchain inherently defines us. And then what is a feature about a chain? Well, a chain is periodic, meaning no matter how close you bring the blocks together, there is always latency. Again, this is not so with the internet. You simply click something and it happens. There's no finite nature and there's no periodic waiting. This is what a blockchain is. And another feature about a blockchain, I think the most important one, the feature about custody and about decentralization. Bitcoin is absolutely decentralized. Ethereum is even decentralized. But the nature of this is that they're third parties. With Ethereum, I am a validator on Ethereum. You may be or know miners on Bitcoin. But most of the time, it's not you. You are not the one processing the transaction. You must intrinsically trust someone else and some system. And this system can be open source and verifiable by everyone, and therefore it's quite easy to verify the authenticity of the system. But it's still a third party. It's still someone else. What zero-knowledge state channels do, same as the Lightning Network, for those of you that are familiar, it's peer-to-peer. It's user-to-user. With zero-knowledge state channels in VDEX, you yourself become the validator. You yourself become the node. You yourself become the oracle. Not a third-party node, not a third-party miner. It's not someone getting cheap electricity in China. It's you. You on your own home computer are verifying your own transactions. Who do you trust more than you? No one. No one in the world do you trust more than you, because you will always have your best interests at heart. And for that reason, zero-knowledge state channels have a better trust assumption than on-chain interactions. This is something I've talked with Vitalik about. Many cryptographers, including some on our team.
When did you talk with Vitalik?
I was in Zuzalu in Montenegro.
Where's that?
It's an inner Ethereum thing. It is
Inner Ethereum, okay.
it is it's an idea that is not it's not niche. There's RGB++, there's of course Lightning, there's a lot of people doing iterations of state channels. We follow them closely. I maintain close contact with other developers in the state channel ecosystem. But we are the only people doing it on Ethereum, first of all, and we're the only people who have built them in production. All of the other state channels, besides Lightning, are theoretical. There are these nice research papers that doesn't do any good for anyone. And I think a lot of people are really frustrated with that. They see a white paper, they see a token, they see a roadmap, but the roadmap never gets filled out. Say what you will about VDEX. We certainly aren't fast in our development, but we have followed through. And that's something that many other projects can't say.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, whom to trust better than yourself? I mean, everyone loves and trusts themselves more than anything. That's an interesting nugget. Um, so like we have discussed and understood, where VDEX originated and why are we building a PubDex. So let's just, go over some features and USP for our PubDex on why should people be looking forward to the PubDex rather than or from, what sets us apart from the other PubDex in the market.
What sets us apart from the other perp dexes? Well, I would say the most important one is what we already talked about a little bit: full self custody. You always have control over
Mm-hmm.
your funds. We have a meeting every Thursday called SBF was in jail for a reason, and we red team, which is basically like to put ourselves in hacker's position and basically design protocols. How do you develop a system where the users of the protocol do not even need to trust VDEX? This is a common misconception that VDEX is a trust assumption of using the exchange. That's not true. You don't need to trust us. Okay, now you do because we're in beta and we have some other security rails to make sure that we've done everything correct. But in theory, and once we've exited beta, it will be fully self-custodial and fully trustless. This is something that Hyperliquid cannot say, that DYDX cannot say, that no other perp dex can say, while maintaining. You could do it directly on Ethereum, but then you're going to be paying dollars in gas and you're going to be waiting 12 seconds for your finalization. We are the only perp dex that is able to say we're fully self-custodial. And I think that's the most important USP of all. But just to rattle off a few more, we're fully omni-chain. You never need to bridge your funds. If your favorite chain is Arbitrum or Optimism, as we have an Optimism fan in the room, whatever chain is your favorite, you do not need to bridge. You just don't need to bridge, because the nature of ZK stake channels, remember how I told you about that lockbox? It's the nature of you send some funds to the validator, you put some capital in there, and then you lock the key, and then you don't need to trade again. You can do that on whatever chain you want. We're chain agnostic, baby. This is P2P, user to user on your own device. Doesn't matter. So that's number 2. Fully self-custodial, fully omni-chain. How about volatile asset collateral? Sustainable Bitcoin yield. This is really big for the Bitcoin heads. Do we have any Bitcoin heads here? Any long-time maxis? Are we all of the Ethereum crowd? Okay, we got some BTC people. You want yield on your Bitcoin? Stack your sats? There isn't really a good yield source for it. If you really want to get some yield, what you can do is go to Aave, put some WBTC, and then get some stablecoin collateral, and that. No. Gross. No, there's a better way. We take that asset directly. You can put BTC directly within VDEX and get yield from it, in the same way you can with any other vault. But rather than just take stablecoins, we take, first of all stablecoins, not just USDT or USDC. We have a wide variety of what we'll be able to support. And we can also take volatile assets. For the few ETH holders that are still there, going strong, long time, unfortunate ETH holder here, at least I can get some yield on it now. So we can put our 55 ETH into the VDEX vault and get yield on it, because it takes the value, that nature of that state channel. Why can't you do this on chain? Because you need to update the price every block. That's very expensive. Okay, well, you have $1,800 worth of value now, and then ETH goes down to $1,750 as it has today. Now you should get a proportional different amount of value, right? That's why you can't do it on chain. But you can do it through ZK state channels because it's peer-to-peer. So you can just do it on your own internet connection. You can do that once a minute or however often is needed. It's much easier. We actually do it every even just 10 minutes. So it's a feature offered by our technology. So that would be number 3. Sustainable Bitcoin yield, 20 to 30% APY on Bitcoin, not just staples. I can go on and on. No KYC, no VPN. For our US and Turkish and Japanese especially, these three regions are heavily restricted with the government, and also with liquidity is typically siloed in centralized exchanges. You may notice there's a Binance Japan, there's a Binance Turkey, and there's a Binance US. The reason why there isn't just the global Binance for these countries is because of the law and regulation there. Well, we have no KYC. Like many exchanges, Hyperliquid has no KYC either, neither does VDEX. But for these countries, we also have no VPN. And all of the other exchanges, they need to geoblock. And the reason they need to geoblock is because they're centralized exchanges, and they would be breaking the law by being there. Not us, though. Like we've said, fully decentralized. We never maintain custody of user funds. And the applicable law of the land is you are an exchange if you have custody of, control of, power of, or power over user funds at any point in the business cycle. After beta, we will not. We will not have custody of user funds at any point, because the users can take the proofs on their own computer and dispute us and overrule us. And this is an open source mechanism that anyone can look at. Because of this fact that we don't have custody of user funds, we don't need KYC or VPNs for US, Turkey, Japan, and anywhere in the world.
Yes, I love the no VPN part. And that is another reason which uh for which I joined VDEX. I mean, it's crazy how I mean, look at MetaMask, right? You can operate MetaMask in US because it is self-custodial and they are truly decentralized. But you cannot operate any other DEX in US. Uh, and that's sad because they are talking that they are DEX, but not really. Um, we can discuss the recent fiasco by Hyperliquid, but let's save that for another day. Huh.
I wanna say directly to the camera, I am not suicidal. I love life. If anything happens to me, think we know what happened. Just saying. So but we won't talk too much smack about our competitors, because then
Yeah.
they'll be throwing hands.
Yep. Okay, that is amazing. Um, okay, so let's go over some, how is the roadmap looking for us? Something which everyone loves to discuss. That, hey, where's the roadmap? What is the current status? When token, when airdrop? Of course, we are not discussing the token air or airdrop, but let us look at, how is VDEX looking for right now? What are the future plans? And yeah, what should the community look forward to?
You can't say we're not going to talk about the token, because then everyone's going to leave. But now
That
we
is
know the
true.
real one. Whoever leaves isn't a real one. That's how you know. We won't be talking about the token. So if you're here for that,
Okay.
we're going to start with the product. We're going to build a sustainable, real product, and then we'll have some fun later. As for the product, Chirag, for the roadmap, we are right now focusing on, unfortunately, some pretty boring stuff. Well, it's unfortunate for maybe for you guys, but it's or for the short term, I should say. It's very fortunate for the long term. So, as you guys know, we've been looking to get VDEX off the ground for a little while now. I would say since November, we've been really excited to get this off the ground, but we have this policy among the engineers that any single engineer is able to veto the launch of VDEX. And that has meant that, well, we're really focused on security. So we don't want to launch prematurely. We want to make sure that everything is super secure, so that we can have a long and prosperous future without hacks. So that's the reason for the delay in getting VDEX to market. And in realizing this development, we have definitely needed some refactoring of the code. So now that VDEX is live, Super exciting. VDEX is live. It works. You can go use it. We're going to immediately focus on refactoring the code and making it easier for us to make improvements in the future. We rush to get this to launch, and now it's time we got to do some documentation and some boring stuff behind the scenes. Sorry to add that, but that is the case over the next month or two is going to be the focus. Once we build a more robust code base, we are going to be focused on adding, yes, docs, Q&A. It's all coming. We're really excited to talk about that. But in terms of features, well, I think in order to actually give a roadmap, we have to talk about which features are live now. So, what features are live now? Well, as of now, you can deposit USDC, USDT, WETH, and WBTC on Ethereum, either for a trading vault or for the VMM. VMM is our virtual market maker. It is our vault where you can basically allow the VMM to borrow your liquidity, and the VMM will pay you back 100% of all of the yield proportionally to the LPs. So it's like an AMM yield pooled, but it's also like Uniswap, but it's single-sided. You don't need to put USDC and another token. It's just whatever token you want, and that's it. And you receive yield in USDT. So if you want to put one BTC in, BTC can go up and down. You still get the positive exposure of that price, and you get yield on top of that in USDT. So that's the features that's live on the yield side. And then on the trading side, we have isolated pools, cross pools, long and short, up to 3x leverage, although that number will be increasing quite soon. So that's something that will be coming very soon on the roadmap. Is VDEX going to 5x leverage on BTC and eventually going to all the way up to 50x leverage on BTC. Another thing that will be coming soon is adding ETH pair, adding Solana, and also adding ETH against BTC, adding ETH against Solana. So these will be the first 3 pairs that we add, and then we'll have actually in the a bit more distant future, we'll be looking at maybe Q3 or Q4 for this, the ability for users to recommend or even deposit liquidity for other tokens. Say you have a, I don't know, well, Link is actually even a blue chip, so that will still be launching ourselves. But what's everyone's favorite, I don't know, 500 mil market cap token, like Dogwif had or something like this? Well, whatever that token is, you will be able to recommend that become a perp on VDEX. That's something else to look forward to. Another really big thing is chains. So we are the omni-chain perp DEX. You may notice we're only live on Ethereum now. This is simply a matter of wanting to test it out, make sure that everything is smooth. It now seems that everything beyond our wildest dreams is happening on VDEX. No bugs, no errors so far since the launch of our last beta. You guys for helping us out beforehand with that. Super appreciate you. We're going to stay diligent and be looking for that kind of thing. But everything seems really good now. And so we're going to begin the process of launching another chains. The first ones are going to be Nibiru and BitLayer. We'll also then be launching on Core, Arbitrum, Optimism, and beyond. So whatever chains are your favorite, we will be coming there. It does need to be EVM just for the foreseeable future. So no Solana just for a little while. But Arbitrum, Optimism, and everything in the EVM sphere, those are going to be chains that are going to be added real soon. So these are the next things to look forward to. And then, if I may, tease some really cool longer term things. Well, one of them, I guess this might actually be an announcement. This is like your first alpha. That's not public and won't even be public. I won't mention this again publicly for some time. You guys want some alpha?
Yes,
guys,
for sure.
remember, you guys need to give me more than this. Remember, I haven't eaten all day. It's 6 p.m. It's now 6:30. I haven't eaten. I need to feed off the energy. All right. I appreciate that.
Let's go. Alpha, let's go.
Thank you guys. I appreciate that. By the way, check out VDEX merch coming soon to where you are. That's also alpha. But the alpha I have for you right now is a virtual bridge. Virtual bridge is a really big deal. So as you know, users will be able to deposit from Ethereum or from any chain they want and trade against each other. But we've currently added the restriction that if you deposit on Ethereum, you can only withdraw on Ethereum. Virtual Bridge changes this. Users will be able to deposit onto VDEX from one chain and withdraw onto whatever chain they want. We want to be the same way that Binance is a shop where people bridge their funds. So people will just, go from Polygon and then out to Arbitrum using Binance. We want to be the decentralized, fully self-custodial version of that. So not only are we an exchange, but now we are a virtual bridge. And it's in the name because we are a bridge, but the idea is it's virtual. So what are the features of this bridge? There's no latency. You simply deposit, withdraw immediately. It only takes one block time. So if Ethereum takes 12 seconds, imagine bridging from Ethereum to Arbitrum in 12 seconds. Also, there's no risk, or I got to clarify, there is no theoretic risk. It is a fully self-custodial protocol. Of course, there's always smart contract risk, but we're doing all the audits to mitigate that risk. But from a purely theoretic standpoint, there is full self-custody at all points during this bridge. And that's something that no other bridge can really say, because again, it's that third-party idea where you're sort of trusting this other party. It can be a multi-sig of sorts, but it's a third party nonetheless that you have to trust. So virtual bridge, it is fully self-custodial. It can settle in seconds. And, it's also going to be really cheap. In the same way, it's only 12-second gas. It's only going to be the same as a regular Ethereum transaction or a regular Polygon transaction. So if you're going from Polygon to Arbitrum, that's only going to be like less than a cent to bridge. A really big deal. So we are super excited to do that and bring that to all of you guys. So that one is going to be coming a little bit later after we do our reorgs and refactoring of the code base. But look forward to that in Q3 of this year. That'll be the next big product launch, and we can even consider that a different product. But of course, it'll be part of the VDEX family, and of course under the entire umbrella of Virtual Labs. Hope that answered your question, Chirag. I don't even remember what your question was. I'm just yapping. I'm just going on. But you're gonna have to bring me back in. Where are we going, Chirag? Where are we going next?
Okay, so we have a question by GGO331. So he's asking, what about bots? Wouldn't this increase bot trading rate? Why no KYC? So basically, yeah. Why don't we have KYC? And then wouldn't that increase the bot trading rate?
Got it. Why no KYC? Well, why not? Do you want KYC? We believe in a fully permissionless, decentralized future. So I don't trust the government. In fact, actually, here's some more alpha. My bank account was just shut down. My Bank of America account just shut down because I'm a crypto trader. There was a whole government initiative to basically punish crypto users and traders because the government is scared of what we're able to do with decentralized, permissionless, and trustless computers. That's what Ethereum is, and that's what VDEX is. And KYC is simply another layer of bureaucracy. So you could say that we don't want KYC on a pragmatic level because we want a better onboarding experience. We want to offer what Binance can't and what Hyperliquid can't. Hyperliquid can't offer this because they require VPN, and Binance can't offer this because they require a driver's license. Why does VDEX need to know your driver's license and passport number in order for you to use us and be part of our community? We don't want to know that. Zero knowledge state channels, zero knowledge. That means zero knowledge. A whole layer of anonymity, but also that we can trust each other, because trust but verify. And so it's still a system where, to answer the second part of your question about bots, we are still verifying that everyone is a legitimate actor. And if it came to the previous hacks, for example, of Bybit, that they're trying to funnel money through other sources, that's an on-chain information. And so we can verify that. We don't need to know their driver's license, but we can verify that to say, well, we don't want to participate with these actors because these are bad actors. And bots, you could also say some bots are bad actors. And so we're still able to meaningfully restrict and eliminate this activity in the same way other decentralized exchanges do without knowing your personal details.
Okay, that's amazing. So let's go with this. Let's first show everyone how VDEX is working, and after that we can open the question answer round. We already have a lot of questions, so just stay tuned for a bit more for before we answer all the questions, everyone. And then
All
we
right.
have the juicy referral code to give out, $20 per person. Okay. Yes, Jose,
Oh,
over to you.
okay, guys. Can you guys see my screen?
Wait. Nope. Your stream failed to start.
My stream failed to start. Chirag, why would you do this to me?
Okay, now it's working.
Now it's working. I'm moving the chart a little bit. Can you see that?
Yep.
We good, guys? Want to make sure we're good before I really get into it. Okay, we seem to be good. Okay, so welcome to VDEX. You're here early. We're glad to have you. And hopefully you've had the chance to check out your platform already. But if not, like Chirag said, you'll have a code to do so with a little bit of starting trading capital to start your day. Okay, so welcome to VDEX. Oh, you're getting a little feedback.
Wait a minute. Somebody's feedback has.
Your platform already, but if not, like Chirag said, you'll have a code. I think I just fixed that. So I'm just going to begin on a tour. So start by depositing some capital. So this is the one part of VDEX that does involve gas. So in order to basically load up your funds, in order to deposit, you need to interact with MetaMask. And Joe Lubin follows me on Twitter. I'm a big MetaMask fan. I have over 100 MetaMask wallets. That's a true story. Done a lot of testing for VDEX. Over 100 MetaMask wallets. But MetaMask is, in my opinion, the most clunky part of the process. So once that has happened, you get your capital onto VDEX. After this point, you never need to interact with MetaMask again, with gas again, or with latency again. So I just put in $20. You see, I have $170 on my account right now. So you're going to see that go up to 192. But I already had some funds loaded up beforehand, so I'm going to show you some trading. So we go up to 3x leverage currently. Like I mentioned, that's going to go up to 5x soon, then 10x, and eventually up to 50x for crypto majors. So we're really excited about that. And I'm gonna make a trade. $500 trade using my leverage. I press submit, and there's my trade. No MetaMask extension, no clicking confirm, no needing Ethereum gas, none of that. Just an experience we would expect from Binance or Coinbase. Just super simple. And I'm going to close my order now in loss, because that's the kind of trader I am, unfortunately, nowadays. And I close my position, and it's closed. I snapped my fingers. You missed it, people. You wait. Let me do that again, but more slowly. Okay, $500. Place order. Order has been created. The order is there. I will now close the order, and with the click of my fingers, it disappears. Just like that. It's as simple as that. It's hard to give a demo when the product is this good. I'm sorry, people. We spent a lot. We spent a lot of time cooking, but we cooked something really good. And you'll also notice the $20 came through. So that took about 30, 40 seconds. That's how slow Ethereum is. Imagine how many trades I'm able to make just in the time that Ethereum is working. I mean, let's do it again. Okay, so I'm gonna deposit through Ethereum.
What
and
does
again,
everyone want to do?
Oh, what do we? Okay, we're gonna. What direction do we want to go? Long or short, people? Or should I should say V sharks? You all are V sharks. You're not just ordinary people. You guys are V sharks. That's meaningful. That's the type of thing that goes on LinkedIn. Long or short, guys? What are we doing?
I'd say long. I mean, BTC is the only coin which made me profit in this run. Even all the majors are down.
Yeah, we do love BTC. There's no second best cryptocurrency. Who am I? Okay, I want to show you guys. I want to show you how fast VDEX is by showing you how slow Ethereum is. So the deposit process, this does take, a little bit less than a minute, but there's nothing we can do about this. This is just Ethereum, right? So I did that. Okay, and now, I'm hearing long. I'm going to do both. I'm going to do a $200 long, and boom, that's done. Ethereum is still catching up. We're the hare in the turtle and hare race. Now I'm going to make an isolated position, and I'm going to go short here. And again, I have all the time in the world because boy is Ethereum slow. And you see I have an isolated order too. And let's say I feel uncomfortable about this short position. Let me add some more capital. I'm going to add another $10 of margin to this position. Oh, look, it's done. 43 just like that. Oh, no, I changed my mind. Let's remove that extra $10. Let's see. Oh, removed just like that. It's this fast, V-Sharks. It's this fast. Look, Ethereum still hasn't added my balance. Okay, let's say you're not a trader. Let's say you're a really bad trader like me. I was a good trader in my day, but now that I'm building stuff, I don't have time to look at all the technicals. So let's say you're not a good trader. Let's say you want to supply liquidity. Let's do it. Let's supply liquidity. I'm gonna put $50 in. I'm over here in Vault now, virtual market maker. We got 53,000 in the virtual market maker. I'm gonna put another $50 in there. And first got to do the spending limit request. Isn't that something that annoys you about Ethereum? You got to do the spend limit and then you got to do the confirmation. Again, VDEX still has this because VDEX is still on Ethereum. But once you're in VDEX, then you don't have to worry about that. All right, so or Ned, if I'm pronouncing your name right, I'm sure I'm not. For bad traders like you and me, do not despair. VDEX is still for you because you can just deposit $50 like this and just get yield. And so if the VMM makes profit, or when the VMM makes profit, it's not a risk-free strategy, but looking at like hyper liquidity provider or other market makers, they do make profit on average at a pretty high rate. Your money will directly go into this pool of orders. You see here, we got, if we zoom out, how much capital do we have here? We have 173,000 VMM bids and $784,000 worth of VMM shorts. Your money goes into that, and then once those trades are made, you share in the profits or in the losses, but it's much more likely to be in the profit. Oh, and look at this, 211. Finally, Ethereum has credited my account with that $20 I added. In the meantime, we traded twice, long and short, isolated and cross, and we added some capital over here to the virtual market maker. So that's, we want to look, well, Chirag, do you want to look at anything else about VMM, VDEX? How have I done?
Yeah, I mean, you covered all aspects. Trading, long, short, vault. Yeah, looks pretty good. And it's great to see how smooth it is, right? Smoothness matters a lot to users. End of the day, you don't want a clunky interface, right?
No, you don't.
Okay, that was amazing. So now let's move on to the questions everyone has for us. So let's go with the first question. For the Bitcoin vault, does price impact affect the yield, or it's standard? Also, are there different yields for different vaults?
For the second question, there's only one vault, although that's another feature coming soon. You'll be able to make your own vaults similar to Hyperliquid. For the first question, I'm afraid I don't fully understand. So I will answer what I think the question is, and you can let me know if I've got it right. So for all assets, for example, if you deposit Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin will not affect your yield, but it will affect your net asset value. So basically how this works is, let's say there's only $100 in VMM, and Chirag has put in $20. And then the VMM makes $10 in profit. It's going to take this $10, it's going to give 2 to Chirag, and it will give 8 to the other people. So it's exactly proportional. So if you put in Bitcoin instead of a stable coin, let's say you put in, let's say in this next example, there's $100,000 in the VMM, and we put in 0.1 BTC. Well, that's going to be around 8,000. So Chirag in this example will have 8%. And if BTC goes up, say it goes up from 80,000 to 100,000, then that would basically take Chirag's share from 8,000 to 10,000. And so he would have a higher percentage of all of the profits. So it would be like you're depositing or withdrawing more. So it's like you deposit 8,000, and then if BTC goes up by 1,000, then it's like you deposited 1,000 more. But similarly, it goes down, then your share also goes down. But the really nice thing about this is it can go up and down, up and down. You still have one BTC or however much you deposited. And this is different than DYDX. So DYDX takes volatile assets. Is this a question?
Not sure. I mean, I have muted him for now. So, yeah, I think another follow-up question to this one will be that just came across me is that how often are the Bitcoin prices updated? Is it updated per minute, per second, or per hour? Because crypto is very volatile. It can change in a matter of seconds.
Yes. So for the VMM and for the yield distribution, we update it every 10 minutes. So we have these things called epochs. So if you deposit, for example, at 653 as it is now, at 7 your capital will start earning yield. So at most 10 minutes later, and every 10 minutes the price of BTC, so your share is updated accordingly. But for BTC updated on the platform, it's multiple times per second. So and when you're trading, of course, it's much more frequent.
Okay, you don't join.
Okay. Then we have a question of I'm a degen trader, so I'm just thinking how I could basically leverage my degen skills if I want to navigate and use VDEX. Are there some forms of modern tech that could help me do this? Also, I'm asking this because I feel there might be more newbies in the community and they really want to find an easy way to use the product.
If you're looking for an easy way to use the product, I would say start with stable coins because I would say depositing volatile assets like Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's a really nice feature for advanced traders, but it is a bit more complicated because you have to think if I have deposited Ethereum as collateral, then if Ethereum goes down, then I have less margin. It's a bit more calculus you have to do. Again, it's a really requested feature by advanced traders, but I would say for new traders, start with stablecoins. And you have two really great options if you have stablecoins. You either take your USDC or USDT and you deposit it to trade, and then you place orders. It's super, I would think, straightforward. And also we have guides forthcoming. I think actually we already have some guides, and we're making even better video guides on how to use the platform, just as I've done now, to walk you through how to make trades and how to deposit collateral. But then even the easier way, if you just want to support the protocol, set and forget, and not worry too much about the price of BTC itself, you can deposit to the VMM, and you deposit to the VMM, and then that's it. There's no more action required from you. You will simply share the profit and loss with the VMM as it makes money.
Yeah, glad you brought in the vault point in. So yeah, I mean, if you are if you're a newbie trader, I think you can allocate, let's say, 80% to VMM and 20% to just, trade your way on VDEX. Yeah. Mm. So, okay, the next question is, what's the catch with VDEX? How does it make money if it's cutting out all the fees trader hate?
Yeah. So we cut out gas fees. So we look at gas fees as something entirely different from other types of fees, because gas fee is a fee that goes to the third party. It's an unnecessary fee. It's not something that centralized exchanges have. If you have, for example, if you use Aave, there is a gas fee, and then there's your lending and borrowing fee. So VDEX still has that second type of fee. We have that, in this case, it would be funding rate or even taker and maker fees. Just like Binance has, who also has no gas fees, just like Coinbase has, who also has no gas fees. So we still have those types of fees, but we eliminate the unnecessary fee, which is the gas fee. So if you're going to use Aave, you no longer need to pay the, 0.01 ETH $3 that's required to even process the transaction. So no processing fees.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Also,
and also
I
gas
will add,
fees. Yeah.
I will add also that our taker and maker fees are absurdly low. I think our taker fee is 0.02% is the taker fee. So even then, we're right now in growth mode. I saw a question about what incentives are there. Chirag will give me that full question later, but one of the early incentives is that the fees are just so low. There's no perp dex with a lower amount of fees for us. Even the second type of fee that we need to charge just as a product, they're just as low as they can be.
Yeah. I think another thing is that VDEX is also a part of virtual labs, right? And we have much bigger aims than collecting small fees. So, but yours is a more accurate. Mine is a more abstract answer. Okay. So someone is asking for alpha. Should we expect huge partnerships for VDEX? Leak a bit if possible.
Absolutely. We are always striving to make really big partnerships. We have a few already in the pipeline. I've alluded to some of them. So I would say what you can look forward to soonest would be those L2 partnerships. So partnering to give you access to more blockchains. Whatever your favorite blockchain is, if we're not there yet, we will be there soon. So those are the closest partnerships to look forward to. We also have some market making partnerships that are in the works, and other partnerships that are close behind as well.
Okay. Um. So the next question is, uh, how are we, safeguard? How are we going to safeguard ourselves again? Let's say market manipulation
Mm.
or hackers.
I'll start with the second one, which is easier. Like I mentioned, we have this system where any engineer can veto launching for any reason, and this has resulted in a later launch than I would have liked, that I'm sure many of you would have liked as well. But it does mean it's secure. One thing we can say about it is that it's secure. We have devoted also an enormous amount of resources to Halborn, the top auditing blue chip firm in Web3, and they have given us a clean bill of health that everything is looking good, everything is secure. And also, during this beta phase, I mentioned earlier, we want to achieve full self-custody, and we are going to achieve this. But more important than that is adding a little bit of safeguards just for the moment, in case anything does go wrong. So right now we have a 24-hour withdrawal delay. This is to allow us to monitor the withdrawals as they go out. So if any hacker, like the Bybit hacker, for example, they withdrew, what was it, 1.4 billion, we would have the chance to see that withdrawal going through ahead of time. So we have this mechanism as well. And for the first part of the question, you asked about, what was the question?
How would we safeguard against market manipulation?
Market manipulation, yes. So market manipulation, well, right now we do not, and also this is a point taken from Hyperliquid as well. We've seen a lot of market manipulation attacks against Hyperliquid in the last few weeks, which is unfortunate, and our thoughts and prayers do go out to them and their team that I know are hard workers. But the mechanism of this sort of one dominant market maker that Hyperliquid has sort of pioneered, we have been using the system as well. And so because all of you will deposit liquidity into the VMM, I've deposited liquidity, everyone gets to deposit liquidity. It takes basically a bunch of decentralized groups of people and puts them almost into a DAO where they have enormous power. And because this is a community-owned exchange, it is able to act honestly and is the dominant player. So no matter if there are other players that want to come in and manipulate the markets, we acting honestly will always be the biggest player. So that's one. And then two, it is generally difficult to market make profitably in terms of an attack on this scale. So typically, obviously, market makers do manipulate the prices, but this really occurs on an entire BTC cycle. So obviously, we can't control the price, going from 82,000 to 78,000, for instance. But for it to happen specifically on VDEX, it's really not possible. Prevent front running. I just saw that question. Great point. This is a great question. And another really big reason why you should use VDEX. So VDEX is the fastest settlement exchange, period. We have sub-millisecond finality. And when you think of this, you think it's too good to be true. In a way, it kind of is, because you need to communicate. Again, we rely on a peer-to-peer system. So if you are in Mars, for instance, and you want to communicate to the VMM, which is the counterparty here, then you were limited by the speed of light, right? We did not break E equals MC squared. We're still limited that communication can only go so fast. But we add no additional time. So if you are right next to VMM, and we'll be adding more VMMs across the world, you have no additional, and most importantly, compared to no one else, you have no additional latency. So if I send an order and Chirag sends an order, they both execute immediately and without delay. You can't be front run because there's no latency, right? Front running is a fact about blockchains. Because there are blocks and your order goes in, people can see this order in the block and then add more orders around it. And they can bribe with gas fees the block producer to put more orders in around them so that they get more money. This doesn't happen here because it just settles instantly. Front running, sandwich attacks, and slippage are all as a result of latency. Because we have no latency, we have no front running, as Creed, you have said so well.
Yep. So yeah, I mean the sub-millisecond part is where that comes in on how sandwich attacks and ME bots are rendered useless. Yep. So one other question is, while depositing from MetaMask to VDEX, is gas fee consumed?
Yes. So that's on Ethereum or on Arbitrum or on whatever chain you're on. That part, the deposit and also the withdrawal, that incurs a gas fee, but all of the trading has no gas fee whatsoever. So if you want to trade once, it's going to require the same amount of gas fees if you want to trade 1,000,000 times. So this system really advantages high frequency traders, traders who stick around with VDEX and use us as their default exchange, because the benefits only compound. So if you trade once, you'll pay gas fees once, but if you trade 1,000,000 times, you'll still pay gas fees once.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Um. So okay, this will be the last question we'll be taking because we are towards the end of our AMA. So
But
are they
I'm always
going to?
available
Yeah.
on Telegram. So if you want access to our Telegram chat, if you somehow don't already, all of you here are able to join our special Telegram chat. I know a lot of you are already there. I recognize many faces. You can access the Telegram chat, and I am much more responsive on Telegram than I am in Discord. So you will get a direct line of questions to me 24/7. Sorry, Chirag, please continue.
Yes. So are there going to be more audit for VDEX?
Yes, we will never stop doing audits for VDEX. So right now we have gotten 2 audits. We've gotten an audit from Halborn, which again is the top audit anywhere in the space. And that is that on our website, Chirag? If that is on our website, if it's not, it should be there. I think it is. And then we also have an independent audit, and we will be adding more and more and more as we continue to grow and develop the platform.
Okay, that is amazing. Cool. So we still have the number of people I mean, I think basically started with approximately 12, 12 to 14, and we still have 12 to 14 people. I mean, most of the people present in the AMA right now have been there since the starting. That is amazing. Thanks for your support, everyone.
Round of applause to the audience. Thank you guys for coming to our first ever AMA. You guys that are all here right now, you guys, look, I can't say too much, but we're gonna remember you. You guys mean the world to us. Sincerely, thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting us. We won't let you down. I will. My life is in this. I will not let you down.
Yes. Just taking a picture of everyone here. Say cheese. Okay.
I know we said no more questions, but I see that DJ Vibes is a new user and has some questions. Chirag, I want you to make sure that that he or she gets into our Telegram chat so I can answer these fully. But I want to answer just one of these questions as a new user. I'm going to choose to answer. I'm going to answer all of these over Telegram. Someone is giving me feedback. Who's not muted? Which one of you is not muted?
Okay, I muted the person who was giving feedback. And also,
Okay.
whom do we have to add to Telegram? Can you please repeat the name?
Everyone here has got to get
Everyone,
added.
yeah.
So drop them the link. Make sure they are part of our alpha community. I'm going to answer. Wow, which question am I going to answer? Oh, they're all so good. What is the roadmap for integrating more blockchains? I'm going to answer this question because it also includes Aptos and Say. So the immediate roadmap is Nibiru and BitLayer. So BitLayer, they have over $500 million in TVL. They're a big Bitcoin L2 for you Bitcoin maxis out there, including myself. Nibiru, also super incredible team. Those are the next two blockchains we're launching on. Many more to come after that. Like I mentioned, Arbitrum Optimism also coming soon. Aptos and Say, those are really good ones. I don't know if you meant Aptos and soon. Whatever the case is, we're launching on all of them. Say will be really immediate. We want to launch on Say in the next few months for sure. And Aptos, because they're on Move and not EVM, it will take a bit longer, but we do want to launch on both Aptos, Sui, and Move. So I think that will truly be the end of the questions, but please ask them again on Telegram, and I will be sure to answer every single one of your questions.
Okay. Wait. EJ is muted, everyone. And I'm not hearing any feedback noise. But anyways, so now for the referral link, I will be dropping it in the chat. So everyone go ahead. Those are just limited users, and you'll be able to get $20 airdrop. And you can, test out VDEX, trade, and start making money from there.
Yeah, I'm muted now.
All right.
So for people on Twitter, I'm just dropping it in our Discord. So if you want the referral, then join the Discord and get it.
All right. Do you want me to switch on my camera?
Okay, that brings us to the end of our first ever community AMA. And any last thoughts, Jose, or shall we wrap it up?
I'm gonna say fire emoji, rocket emoji, VDEX emoji. That's really the only thoughts I have at this point. Oh, and I'm gonna go get some food. Anyone have any recommendations for food? That's really where my head is at now. I'll get a burrito or something. But no, I have no more thoughts. Again, soup. I think soup. Shark kebab. No, we cannot eat our own kind. This is cannibalism. We are sharks.
We are sharks.
We are sharks. We do eat the smaller sharks though. So, but no. No, I have no more thoughts. A wonderful audience. Thank you, Chirag. Thank you, audience. Thank you, Jasmine, for setting this up. You guys gave us so much energy. We're gonna make this a regular occurrence. Share the alpha with you, and do this with a live trading session too. We're gonna pull some of you guys up here, the good traders among you, to come show us who's boss and go take our money. That sounds like a plan.
Yep. Also, I started a poll to get get an idea of what everyone wants you to eat. Burrito, pizza, burger, or just they just want you to fast. Nobody voted fasting.
No, why'd you make that an option? I will do whatever this wins. Oh man, it's on pizza. I just had pizza, but I will do it if it wins.
Okay, pizza is leading.
Pizza.
3 votes. I did not include any healthy option. I mean, all of them are fast foods.
Chirag wants me to die early. All right, guys. All right, we should really wrap this
Okay,
up.
pizza. Yes. Let's wrap this up. Pizza won, and thanks everyone for coming. See you soon. And
Bye,
we
guys.
will always be there on Discord and Telegram, so feel free to drop any questions there.
Bye, guys.